Okay, we're back at it. It's been about 8 or 9 days since we did the jump stitching. I did that on a Saturday, and it's now a following Monday. And I've had it under tarps, and I added a little space heater that I put tie in to the cross brace that I set at a very low setting. Just enough to keep it warm inside with the tarps on top. I'll do this anytime I'm curing the epoxy inside in the wintertime, because it's going to be just too cold. I want to speed up the process, and I don't want to make it set there in limbo for too long. So I'll cover up the boat with some tarps and then put the little heater in it and set on low, and I have the heat on just during the day. I don't leave it on when I'm not out here for about 4 days in a row. And so now all the gel magic is set, and it's and those surfaces are sticky. And so today is the day we make a bet with the devil, and we cut the wires and pull all the nuts and bolts. And I haven't had one come apart yet. So let me put the tarps away, and we'll get on with this. Okay. Let's go around, loosen them up. Here's some little cracks in it, and that's just the heads on the other side loosening up the epoxy. I didn't get too much. I was worried about, or I was wondering how the bolts, the hex head bolts, would come out with a little bit of gel magic on them, but the gel magic seems to have popped right off. So that one's the first one. I got several to go, but there's no use in wasting your time on that. We'll come back after I get all the bolts. Okay, we're going to get to these ones with the tape on top. I just normally press the screwdriver down through the top of the screw and give it a twist, and the bolt comes right up. Let me do that again. Comes up, bolt's protected. You can use it again. One thing I like about finishing up this task is I pulled the tape off on the outside to put on the wounds from the wires. Once this job is finished, I'll be poking myself. Now the fun comes. I got to tip her over on its side, and then get the ones on the port side bottom panel, and then tip it over some more to get into the keel panel. So it's coming along, and gives me a chance to look at the seams and see how they came out from the outside. So let me get back to it, and we'll come back again. Okay, I've got all the nuts and bolts out of the way. So now we're going to tack the wires. I've got a little nibbler, which makes it easy to get in close to the wires. And remember when we were putting in the say this is the groove, and then we had the little wires spanning that distance in there. I'm going to go to one side, say the low side of the wire, and cut that, and then that'll give me a little bit easier pulling out that short leg. And then once the short leg's out, and then I can pull out the long leg. So let me reset up for some close-ups to show what I'm doing. Okay, I'm going to come in and just start nibbling these wires. Doesn't matter where you start. I haven't had one of these hulls pop a panel after I've jump stitched it with gel magic. Stuff is a miracle worker. I'm going to start on now and just work from one end to the other. Need to get some new nibblers. You'll be getting lots of strange noises. You think, oh my God, the thing's going to come apart. Basically just the wires moving around, and the epoxy that's attached from the wire to the plywood underneath those little parts I was telling you that build up when the brush goes by, or in this case the nozzle goes by. It leaves a little bit of residue. I'm still a firm believer in the steel tie wire as opposed to copper. Copper would never handle the tension. The plastic tie wires, drill too big a hole. Drill too big a hole to get a tie big enough to pull these panels together. Woo! I'm getting up near the bow. Everybody's crossing their fingers. Okay, nothing popped yet. Let me go ahead and refinish this and come back. Okay, you're going to get in with your nibblers and just kind of pull this wire out. It also pays to start at one end because I'm left-handed, and so I start out of the other side, and every time I'd roll it over I'd poke myself in the back of the hand with the next one in line. So don't do that. Go the other direction. And I've been building boats for a while, so I've got a few pounds of steel here I'll recycle someday. That goes along pretty quick. Okay, I've got all the wires pulled out. Debating about whether or not I got some tape on the seams that you remember we putting on when the hull was upside down for to keep the epoxy when we were doing just the straight mixed epoxy, to keep it from running out onto the hull. I'm reusing some of that tape to fill up the holes where the bolt holes were, and so before I put in the filleting material, I'll go around and cover those up, the majority of them. Usually I haven't had any problem with the fillet material coming through. Usually it'd be a little dimple that comes through and then just kind of hangs there, and then it either comes up high enough to where you can rasp it off, or else it's down low enough that you just fill it from the outside and it's gone. But it's always nice to put a little bit of straight mixed epoxy in those holes, just to give it a little bit of sealant. And okay, there you can see how the seams are filled up, and just a little bit of indentation there where it's slumped into the hole, but it's pretty much solid gel magic all the way down. Here's a bolt hole that came out, and you can see how it's drying underneath. It didn't get any straight epoxy on it, so I'll do that after I tape the back side of it. But you can see going on how the gel magic filled in the grooves. Let's go up to the bow. Okay, in the bow here, it's plied up a little thicker, but the fillet material will be pretty thick in through here. And so, but I always like to add a lot of gel magic in these bow seams to keep give it a lot of extra strength. So you can see there's again, it's all filled up. And there's that bow again. I just love that thing. It is going to look so pretty in the water. But then that's me. I hope you think so too. Well, that's going to bring to the end probably this segment of video. I don't want to waste or cut. I don't want to cut anything too short, so it's just a little bit of this and a little bit of that. So this video is going to be pretty much what you saw, the taking the bolts out, taking the wires out, and then some of the other. If I have time, I'll throw in the sanding tube, but probably not. I'll put that in with the filleting because that's going to be quite extensive. Till the next time, this is Red Barn Boats, not Big Wheels Turn.